Okay, I got to do that little flippity flip of the video. I want to know where that hiss is coming from. I got hiss. I hear hiss. Where is that coming from? I'd like to know. It's likely from this cable. That's annoying. That's better. I think I got it. Hey, good morning, everybody. Long time no see. I was away for a week, and now I'm back. I was away in London taking a course, participating with the magical folks from Omron, doing a media relations officer training. Very cool. Very excited to have been part of that, and also very excited to be back. I did go live in the hotel in the evenings, and it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. And now I am not only live here, I am also live on YouTube by way of Restream. They're pushing our content on multiple platforms. So we are on YouTube, Twitter, we are on Facebook, we're even on Twitch. So if you are interested in watching there, by all means go there. Live chat is also happening. Good morning to Angela, who is also watching us, and the chat room is active there. So, Q can't make it on the screen. However, she's still watching because I just saw her say hello. Same phone, who dis? So, magic. Good morning, Will. How you doing? Long time no see. Neon, good blessed Tuesday morning, everyone from Neon. He's a moderator. Will's a moderator. Q's a moderator. We even have Brandon back in. Brandon is here. He'll be popping in and out possibly on our YouTube and be bringing things forward for us when things get missed in the chat. I do not read the chat, just so you know. I am... Oh, Brandon can't see video on TikTok. That's weird. Interesting. Okay. I don't know why you're not getting video. I got a Gucci from Q, so it should be good. I don't know. Okay. Let's see here. And Neon says, good morning to Brandon. Okay. Good stuff. So here's the deal. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service. I am currently sitting at traffic services in downtown Toronto, and I go live, generally speaking, Monday to Friday. Now, we have a new shift pattern. We're messing around a little bit, so this week will be Tuesday to Friday. We're doing this thing where we answer your police and traffic questions. So if you have questions, please feel free to drop in the Q&A, and we will go there. So, and answer your questions. And Penny Addison says, seen the protests in Melbourne, Australia. I have not seen the protests in Melbourne. I have been focused on all things other than that. Let's see. I haven't been watching the news other than watching the whole voting business, because yesterday was the election here. How am I doing, or how are you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How are you doing, Nazreen? It is my Monday, your Tuesday, and I'm in the office. Happy to be here. Had a great conversation with Gary Grant this morning from the Toronto Star. We were chatting about stuff and things, talking about what we're doing here on TikTok. So that was really awesome. We're doing a lot of catch up. So throw questions into the chat, and we'll keep going. Q is monitoring. Let's see here. Lots of questions. Do me a favor. If you do want me to see the question, throw it in the Q&A. We can go there. We've got lots of stuff to talk about. Stunt laws. We've been seeing a lot of comments about stunt laws, a lot of questions about the stunt laws, how they've changed in Ontario. So we can dip into that. We can talk about motorcycle safety. We can talk about anything you like. Jellicoe, one of our moderators, with a good morning. Good morning to you. Let's see here. What is the maximum speed you can drive on the highway? The maximum speed that you can travel on the highway is the posted speed limit. So if it's 100, it's 100. If it's 110, 110 is the maximum speed you can legally drive on the highway. What you do above and beyond that, you're eligible for a ticket for exceeding it. So that would be the answer. Let's see here. What's the favorite part of my travel trip? What's the favorite part? I had steak twice. Yeah, it was good. No, I met some amazing people, and it was an all-around great trip. Great experience for the training course. I really enjoyed it, but the people were by far the coolest part of the trip. A lot of new friends, and it was very weird being away from my family. So I didn't like that part because I missed them. They're my family. I like them. Okay, most of my family I like. The ones who live with me I like. Let's see here. Nebula Okay, Kaylin, Nebula, we're just going through because we got a couple of the same questions. So the question is, can you stunt on your own property? So as of September 12th this year, just a few days ago, new laws came into effect that said that you cannot stunt drive on private property, that the HTA is now enforceable on private property. So the question that many people have asked is, can you get a ticket for stunt driving on private property? And if you own it with your own permission, you're giving yourself permission. And by reading the law, it would suggest that you can. Now, no one's staking out your farm or your country, a home or your backyard. No one's actually going to be looking. So if you do something, you may not be caught. Is it potential that someone could call and complain or report you, and then police could become involved? If you were having a meet on your farm and you were having a stunt driving thing there, and that was the focus of your of the reason you're doing things, because you created a space, could that be an offense? Yeah, it looks like you'd be eligible for a ticket. Now, it's still early on. We don't know where this is going to go or if enforcement will ever go there. But the law says that you can be charged on private property, even if it's your own, because it doesn't stipulate whether you own it or somebody else owns it. It does say that if you have a track, something constructed as a track, that the track would be permitted. Now, I don't know if you need to get a permit from the local government to have a track, but if you have a track constructed for that purpose, if it's a go-kart track, those are things that have been stated as part of the regulations as exempt. But beyond that, still too early to say whether or not you can just mow a portion of the lawn and say that's your track. I don't know what regulates or is considered a track, but we're going to find out soon, I'm sure. Okay. So there's a duplicate, same question. Some guy sped in front of me and brake checked me last night. Well, I don't have much to tell you about that, other than if that was it's obviously aggressive driving, and the deal is that it's aggressive driving. You could call in a complaint, but at this point, very little that'll be done. If you have dash cam footage, you could always submit that. What is a stunt driving? What is stunt driving on a highway? I'm assuming you're asking about speed. What speed could qualify? Well, the highway is any road. But if you mean a expressway, like the 401 or the Gardner Expressway, anything with a speed limit 80 kilometers and above, you need to travel 50 kilometers over the posted speed limit to trigger stunt driving. Now, there are other activities that do trigger the charge. It's not just speed. Aggressive driving, like if you were weaving in and out of traffic, passing, that could be stunt driving. If you're breaking traction or drifting, that's stunt driving. There's a whole bunch of things that could be stunt driving. Now, if you're talking about on a road that has a speed limit under 80 kilometers an hour, you need to only exceed the speed limit by 40 to trigger stunt driving. Already Dead says, how was OPC? OPC was good. Fortunately, I was staying in a hotel, not actually on OPC, because I'm not a fan of the beds at OPC. Just they're tiny, itty-bitty beds. Let's see here. What about cones in a lot to close off to stunt? There's nothing that says cones will make it okay. My understanding is you'll need a permit or a track, and simply saying on that side is stunt driving doesn't cut it. And certainly there'll be other things. You can't just go to any random lot. If you own the lot and you create a track, maybe, but I can't give you any approval or permission at this point. I don't know what's going to meet the criteria. I think it's too early to tell. Is it illegal for transports to drive in the fast lane? There is no fast lane. There is a passing lane. And transport trucks, depending on the highway they're on, have to follow the signs. Whether it's the entire highway, like 401 will have signs stipulating which lanes they're not permitted in. I don't believe that it's on all highways, but it's regulated by sign. What is this? What is the fine for parking close to a stop sign? Good question. I don't know, because I don't do a lot of parking stuff, but TPS Erin Urquhart, it's TPS Bikehart. She would be the one to ask about that. And yeah, she's got a TikTok, so if you throw that in her Q&A, I'm sure she'll give you an answer. Dogs left in cars quickly with cooler weather. So Can dogs be left in a car? It's not suggested. It's you can't determine what's safe and what isn't safe. Cooler weather obviously is less of a concern than warmer weather. But when we had an interview with the Humane Society, they were suggesting don't leave your dog in the car. Because hot versus cold, we can't say what is going to be good or bad. But if it's not hot, and it depends on what quickly is. There's no ticket for being 5 minutes away from your dog in cooler weather, but you could end up with a smashed window if it's warmer weather. So where police are called and emergency services respond to protect the animal. So tough question, because I can't give you a committal to what's permitted. You could always be in a situation where someone calls police. Good morning. Never missed a live so much. Well, thanks, Ashton. It's cool to be back. Cool to be back with you. Haven't seen you in a while. Feels like forever. It was only a week. Emergency stop on bike practice considered stunt. Again, in a closed environment, emergency stopping. If you're not skidding, if you're not, you're just threshold braking. Probably not. But you need to be careful where you're doing things. And if it's an endo, then it is a problem. Let's see here. Okay. And Q brings up a question from the chat. Do you think that HOV lanes will have poles to stop illegal crossovers? I don't know. I have not seen those on highways. Those are the plastic dividers. Maybe it would help, but I'm not seeing a huge issue with people going over the lines. I don't know what the story is. I think it becomes an issue with snow removal, which is probably why we don't have those. Okay. Let's see here. And here's something from Q just reminding me that we have a Discord chat. Discord is a community, or at least that's a server, but the Discord community for traffic services is an area where you can basically talk to us 24/7, because there's folks on here who are like-minded. They follow the show, and we chat a lot. So whether it's sharing photos of their rides, their pets, or asking questions in different time zones, it's a thing. And you can use the Discord invite that's right on the screen right now if you'd like to join us there, right below. Okay. If a couple of things. If you don't already follow us, please do, because you'll stay up to date when we go live. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro, and I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada. We talk about Ontario traffic laws. We talk about police stuff. And if you want to have your questions answered, drop them in the Q&A below. Also, double tap that screen. Let people know that you're watching. Let people know there's some good content here, and that they can come in. So when you double tap that screen, it shows that it's a like. And when you like us, other people on TikTok find out about you. It's just good for the algorithm. So if you don't mind, double tap, triple tap, tap continuously until your fingers are tired. Whatever works for you. Okay, let's get back into some questions. Hey, Neon with a boop his nose. Yes, apparently it's a video game. Can you tap me? Can you tap? Okay. Do you need a university or college degree to hire? So becoming a police constable with the Toronto Police or in services in Ontario and possibly throughout Canada, it's not a requirement to have a degree. It does make you more competitive. So minimum requirements are a grade 12 education, having your secondary school diploma. But again, because the situation is there's a lot of people applying, everyone's competing for a job, the best candidate you can be is going to be the one with your unique skills and abilities, and a university degree may help you beat out someone else for the spot that you'd like. So it's a good thing. Let's see here. There's the same question worded differently, so we'll skip that one. Can I still drive if my G2 expired during lockdown? Jesse Goober needs to know. So the deal is that your license, if it expired March 2020 or later, is still considered valid. It's been extended until further, I'm so used to saying until further notice. Well, you've been given notice. It actually remains valid until December 31st, 2022. So you're good to go right now. You need to focus on getting your G test booked so you can go and get your permanent or your full license. But your G2 is still currently valid until the end of next year. So that's good news for you. Boom, boom, boom. Can we talk about tint and underglow? No, those are banned topics. Of course, we can talk about tint and underglow. Thanks so much, Neon. A lot of conversation about that. It's one of our favorite topics. I was asked today during an interview, what are the most common questions we get? And tint and underglow were of the most common that we get. So let's start with tint, since it's appearing first in the question. The first thing is, well, you can have tint on the windows other than the front windshield. You can't have anything on there. Now, granted, if your vehicle is a 2016 or older, you can have a brow across the front. You can have a 3-inch brow, or when you get to the PS1 line, whatever happens first. Those are the limitations. Now, 2017 or newer, you can no longer have a brow across the front. Not a zero zilch nothing. And let's go to the next windows. The driver's side, the ones left and right directly of the driver, those can have a maximum of 30% light blockage, or 70% light has to be able to get through. They can be non-reflective. You can't use these reflective mirror or chromium tints. They're not permitted. The windows behind the driver, the ones directly behind, so those are rear passenger and back to the rear window, those can be as dark as you like. Those aren't regulated. Now, you need to have at least one mirror to the rear. So if your rear window is too dark and you can't see through it, you need to at least have functioning side mirrors to have a clear view of the back. And I think that's, and then underglow. So underglow, the deal is this. Yes, you can put underglow. Can you use it while you drive? There's no law against underglow per se. However, use could create an issue for other laws. For instance, you can only have yellow and white to the front. If you're projecting another light and it's bright enough, you could see a ticket for improper headlights. You can't have red to the front, but if you have red underglow and it's visible to the front, you might have an issue. If your underglow blinks or pulses, intermittent red lights in any direction are a problem. So you can see where I'm going. There's potential for issues. If your underglow is anything other than amber or red and it's visible to the rear, again, it's a violation. So my suggestion would be private property only. Okay, what if a passenger sleeps at front seat? I don't know what the question is. People sleep when they're passengers or in the back. I don't know what you mean. Rephrase your question so I actually know what you're asking about. Because sleeping in the front seat, if I'm not driving, I'm going to catch up on my C's. Let's see here. Can we talk about prepping our teens for driving? We're doing it every day right here, but it's a great question. So you want to know what to do? Well, I would suggest getting them into a young drivers or an equivalent driver training program. That's what I did. I think it made me a better driver going in. I did my in-class prior to even being licensed with my learners, and it gave me, I think, a really a big step up on everybody else. I had some good experience going in. So, be a good example as a parent. Do the right thing because they're learning from you. They're watching from you. And the safe driver who's in the chat right now can attest to that. We are always being watched, and sometimes it's the eyes inside of our car. So if we are not good examples, our children will be picking up on all those not so great habits we might have. But professional driver training is possibly the best piece of advice that I can share with you. If I have a medical, can I drive an insured vehicle? If you have a medical what? I'm not sure what you're looking for. And we got Scott Marshall again. So if Scott, if you want to throw in any advice in the chat room, there was a question about how to prepare young drivers for driving. But you know what? We should also get you back on for a 10 o'clock show this week, or if you're available. Let me know. Let me know if we can connect. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I could do tomorrow. Can you do tomorrow? Let me know. Can I drive around with no doors? If you have a Jeep, that's not a problem. They come off quite easily. In terms of other vehicle types, it may not be so easy, and it may not be so good. A question from the chat brought up by Brandon. Do you guys ever feel bad for taking people's hard-earned money with automated speed enforcement cameras? First off, we don't take the money, you're actually kind of donating it, because if you're choosing to speed, you're choosing to be responsible for, at least you're breaking the law, and you know the law is there, but you're choosing to do it anyway. So if you get caught by a speed camera, it comes hand in hand. I don't feel bad for people who speed and get caught, because you know what the rules are. So, and if I get caught, I have to pay. So, and I say that because I was driving and in an area that I thought was a 60, and it turns out it was a 50. I might be getting one in the mail. And you know what? My fault. I can't complain to anybody for not paying attention if I missed a sign. So, yeah, I don't have much sympathy for speeders. Sorry. Or anyone who violates the rules. My job is to issue tickets for folks who do it. Now, again, automated speed enforcement is done by the city. It's the same section that does the red light cameras. It is what it is. My best suggestion would be don't speed and stop for all the stoplights and stop signs. Let's see here. If you can't stop at a yellow in the rain, what do you do? I would say you slow down, because if you don't stop for a yellow in the rain, well, okay. So if you're driving within the law, the legal limit, and you should in rain be reducing your speed below the legal limit, you should be driving for the conditions. So if you can't stop, that means you're going too fast for the conditions. And if you don't stop for it and you're stopped for not stopping for a yellow or an amber, you could be receiving a ticket. You might find an officer who understands that you couldn't do it and believes you. Maybe you won't be stopped at all, because it says that you have to stop unless it's unsafe to do so. But what's unsafe? Where's the threshold? You should be stopping. And again, if you can't, you're probably driving too fast. Do you have a quota for tickets given? No quota, and we're expected to do a day's work. And that's a thing that we have to explain what our time was spent doing. So if I don't have any radio calls, no collisions to investigate, and no tickets to show for it, I'm going to have some explaining as to what I did while I was out there. That being said, I don't have to get a specific number of tickets, but I have to show that I'm working. So if I'm not doing collisions and I'm not doing tickets, what am I doing? Well, I'm giving tickets, because there's plenty of people violating. So it's not like I can't find one. What's the ticket for a back brake light out? Well, you need to have at least one. If you have none, I believe it's $110. Okay. Just going to go here to the chat to see what's going on. So, question from, how dark can my front car windows be? No, that's a joke. From Angela, thank you. Who can contact? Oh, so the question is, who can we contact about getting a permit for a legal skid pad car show? You'd have to talk to a local MP. It wouldn't be us. I don't know if they're even set up for that yet, but it's a good question, Frazzy. I would suggest contacting your local MP or the city that you reside in and ask them, because you understand there's new laws. You want to make sure that you're in compliance. How do you get a permit for it? And they may look at you funny, but it'd be a great place to start. Yeah, if you're going to do it, document everything and let us know how it goes. Great question. New drivers can practice. What is this? New drivers can practice exams online for drivers. Just look up drivers and tell. Okay. So Angela was just saying that there's opportunities for tests and things, practice tests for new drivers. Is there an electric vehicle that doesn't need a license? E-bikes are the only electric vehicles that wouldn't need a license. I mean, there's also mobility scooters that don't require a license, but e-bikes have a limitation. They can't exceed 32 kilometers an hour. And if you do modify them so that they exceed 32 kilometers an hour, they're no longer e-bikes. They become motor vehicles and require license, ownership, and insurance. It would require a motorcycle license. These electric motorcycles, even gas-powered bicycles, they are motor vehicles and require license, ownership, and insurance. So if you're looking for something, slow-speed electric vehicles, e-bikes in particular, that would be it. I'm in class and watching this. Okay. Hopefully you're in a class maybe about traffic safety. I don't know what you're studying. Speed limit increase. What is this? Speed limit increase with evolution of tech and safety. Well, we're actually reducing speeds almost everywhere. If you look at local roads in the city of Toronto, we're getting down to 30 kilometers an hour. 50s are now 40s, 60s are 50s. We're seeing a reduction in speed, not an increase. And that's because the more you slow down, you increase the chances of survival. You reduce the impact or the level of injury when it comes to collisions. And that's what we're trying to do. If you look at the entire concept of Vision Zero, which we are looking at, or Vision Zero is our goal, where we want to have no deaths, no major injuries as a result of our collisions on our roads. reduction of speed is the way to go. And in terms of highways, we've seen a highway that went up 10 kilometers, but I don't know if that's going to catch on. Okay. Passing on the right-hand shoulder. So you can't drive on the shoulder, so you shouldn't be passing on the shoulder. Passing on the right, if you have multiple lanes, if it can be done safely, is not a problem. But again, it depends if you are talking about going on the shoulder. There's certain areas on roads where you can actually duck out if a vehicle is turning, but that's designed for that. It's not truly using the shoulder. You should not be driving on a shoulder. Can you practice handling on a bike in a lot with cones? So we have a closed track that we do this sort of stuff, and we practice slow speed maneuvers in public parking lots, but that's controlled slow speed maneuvering. That's not burnouts, the wheelies, skidding. That we're not doing, and that you should not be doing, because you could be eligible if you're intentionally losing traction, you're creating burnouts, or drifting on a motorcycle or any other vehicle. That would be stunt driving, and is now eligible for charges under the HTA on private property. Can I renew my G2 if I can't book a G test? Well, you've got an extension until December 31st, 2022. I was about to say 32, and that was going to be wrong. So yeah, you've got an extension if your G2 expired from March 2020 onward. But beyond that, G2s aren't renewable to the best of my knowledge. It's something that you'll have to get your G before it expires in the extended period again, December 31st, 2022. Can you be hired by police easily if you know someone? No. Easily is a funny word. Could you have a good reference? Sure. Could it help you? Maybe. Easily, I don't think the word easily mixes with our hiring process. It is challenging, it is competitive, and you really need to be the best candidate you can be. If you had a kid, what would you name them? I have kids. I've named them already. But yeah, interesting question. I don't really have a comment. Let's see here. What if my friend drive my car without insurance? Well, if you let them drive a vehicle without insurance, you are responsible for doing that. Now, they could also be in some trouble because they wouldn't have coverage in the event of a collision, but you as the owner of the vehicle, you are ultimately responsible. So if you give them the keys and say, have at her, you are responsible. Okay. Can I drive my dad's car if not added to the insurance? Oddly enough, 2 insurance questions in a row. And the answer is, depends. Do you live with your dad? Now, legally speaking, the police, if the vehicle, from the police perspective, if the vehicle is insured and you're a licensed driver for that class of vehicle, yes, you can drive that car. If you get into a collision and you live with them and you're not named, could you be denied on the insurance policy? Yes. The insurance company, if they stipulate that you have to be on the policy, might say no when you say, please help me. Can I bring a toddler on a G road test? I have no idea. I assume so. Maybe the safe driver could weigh in on that because I don't actually know. And safe driver, who is I say master driving instructor, because he teaches other driving instructors to be driving instructors. I guess they aren't driving instructors when they start with you, but they become driving instructors. So he's like magical and stuff. So he might be able to answer that question. He's in the chat right now. Can you confirm license plate covers clear novelty? I don't know what you want me to confirm about them. Are they legal is probably where you're going with this. And if you have anything on your license plate that obstructs or obscures the ability to have it legibly read, you could be fined. Now, if it's tinted, if it's polarized, if it is constructed in such a way that it's unclear because the plastic is thicker in certain areas and it's not optically correct, you could be finding yourself with a ticket. If it's novelty and it goes even around the border but covers any portion of the license plate, you could be finding yourself with a ticket. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. Let's see here. When I'll get ticket. I don't know what that one is. When I'll get ticket, his record was clear. I don't know what your question is. Maybe there's some more somewhere else, but right now I don't see. What is this? Did you see the guy rent the Lambo and get an impound? I vaguely remember seeing something about that, but I didn't read too much. Was it a rental? I saw one about a test drive. So I don't know if that's the same case, but I did see that in the news. Let's see here. Are train horns legal on vehicles in Canada? I'm not aware of something that says they're not. However, you could find yourself with an unnecessary noise charge in the event that it was for, if you're using it like to test your train horn. Loud stereo, loud exhaust, or loud horns, if unnecessary, could result in charges. But I don't think there's a regulation that says thou shalt not put a train horn on your car. Just saying. Have I ever pulled someone over for going too slow? I pulled someone over for driving in the shoulder too slow. It was, no, I've not charged anybody with driving or unnecessary slow driving. But it does happen. The person I thought of was a gentleman who was driving in the right shoulder on the Don Valley Parkway. He was a little confused as to where the road was. Child restrictions, front seat, single cab truck. Okay, if you have a situation where there's no back seat, you have very little choice. Now, there are regulations about car seats and child restraints being in a position where an airbag is present. So if you can't disable your airbag, that's a problem, and it would be an illegal installation. But if the child is large enough to be in a car without a car seat or child restraint, and they're in the front seat, they're legally permitted to be there. However, we suggest back seat until 14 years old or older, which is a problem if you don't have back seats. It's not illegal, but it is unsafe, or at least it's not as safe as it could be. Let's see here. How long does a speeding ticket stay on your driving record? Points stay on from 2 years from the event upon conviction. So they go onto your license on conviction, but stay on from the total of 2 years from the date of offense. However, points or a conviction and on your record stays for 3 years from the date of conviction. What's the point of the blue plates you can't read? And they're being recalled, from my understanding. They're being replaced. They're no longer being distributed because of that reason alone. Is it true that cops don't pull people at lunch? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you mean when we're on lunch? When we're on lunch, we're not on, like we're probably at the station. So it's very hard to pull people over when you're not physically on the road. But if I was on lunch and I saw something happen, I would be off lunch and I'd be pulling you over. So, yeah. If car gets wrapped, do I have to update with SO? SO? I should probably know what SO is. Short forms are killing me. What's that? Significant other. Oh. No, I don't know what that is. In other case, if you do change your tint and it is significant, you have to update the Ministry of Transportation, or you could find yourself being charged for failing to update. So if you wrap it with green, but it's really orange, your vehicle is now altered and you need to update it there. Hey, Sean Chen just jumped into YouTube and said hello. There is chat room live there, but because I am running with less on-screen assistance, I am not throwing it on screen because I don't want to ignore it and have it ignored. But I am reading it so I can jump in and address questions on all platforms. How old and what license will you able to? How old and what license to be able to test drive? Manufacturers or dealerships are going to have their own regulation as to what they permit as their policy. So if you're a licensed driver, you're a licensed driver. So you have to be 16 to be a licensed learner. Chances are they're not going to let you test drive then. Some may state that they only let people with 21 in. Some may want to know that you're really serious about buying, but it's up to them. I don't think there's any rule if you're a fully licensed driver that would restrict you legally from test driving. Hey, if you like what you see, in terms of being able to ask questions and get your answers, feel free to jump into our Discord server. Our Discord server's address, the invitation is right on the screen. We got about 200 people in there that just discuss traffic stuff. A lot of knowledge, because a lot of folks who are very active in our community on TikTok have also spent time on Discord, and they know the answers to a lot of the stuff we talk about, because we talk about a lot of the same stuff a lot. So you're welcome to join us. That's the address to jump in. If you don't already follow us, please do. You can that way get notified when we go live and post stuff. Okay, do you have to follow signage on private property? Private property is private. Now, depending on what signage we're talking about, stop signs, well, it's not enforceable under the HTA if you don't stop for one. But if you end up getting into a collision, that is going to be investigated by a police officer and fault will be determined, and you're still going to end up in a collision that will be your responsibility if you fail to stop. Speeding, again, if they post speed limits, is it enforceable under the HTA? No, but you might end up in a collision as a result of it, and that's a problem. HTA has very limited reach onto private property. It's specific to stunt driving. But criminality, like dangerous driving and impaired driving, have always existed on private property. So to answer your question, you should still follow the signage, regardless of the fact that you may not get a tick. Are you on Twitch? Right now we're live on Twitch, absolutely. At least we should be on Twitch. Have I received a notification that we're on Twitch? We should. Yeah, my mobile dashboard is live. We are on Twitch. I'll open my thing. Hey, we're there. We're live. Look at that. View dashboard. Okay. Motorcycles. Let's see. Motorcycles have speed limit tolerance. What do you mean? Motorcycles need to follow the rules just like motor vehicles. We're all the same. Posted limits are the posted limits. Can I use a radar gun and camera to report speeding? It would be fairly pointless because without us qualified operators actually doing the speed measurement, it wouldn't be admissible. So you can have fun if it's something you're interested in doing. There's no law saying you can't, but the truth is there's nothing we can do with your information other than potentially investigate the driver and send them. We have an online reporting tool, so you could make reports, but in terms of being able to act on your radar gun, that probably won't happen. Jelly-filled or classic-style donut. Specifically, raspberry jelly Krispy Kreme. That would probably be the only thing that would get me interested in eating a donut right now. It happens to be my favorite. Everything else is like, yeah. Do I have until February to get my sticker? You do have. If your sticker expired March 2020 or later, it is valid until the 28th of February 2022. However, you can certainly renew it now. There's no reason to wait. You're going to pay for all the time that you've missed anyway. There's no discounts. So you should just do it now and avoid the crazy lines. Speaking of lines, did anybody wait long in line to vote yesterday? Oh my goodness, those were lineups, like wild lineups. Can I dispute a ticket that's illegible? You can certainly dispute it. Whether or not you'll win because of it is up for grabs. They may ask the officer, and I've had statements or requests from a Crown or a prosecutor to say, could you give us a translation from your messy handwriting to tell us what you mean? Or if there's short forms that they don't understand, they'll ask for a long form. Does that actually mean the ticket will be disputed simply because the writing is illegible? No. Very often it will not result in a ticket being thrown out. Stunt driving, donuts, parking lot like Walmart. Yes, stunt driving in a parking lot like Walmart or any other private property is now under the umbrella of stunt driving under the HTA, and you can't be charged. Yes. I don't know what yes is. I don't know what this is probably a part of another question. Can you lane split or lane funnel on a motorcycle? Not legally, no. Can you be charged for watching a video while driving? Yes, you can. Screen visible, entertainment screen, or visible to the driver? Absolutely. Whether you're holding it, whether it's mounted or somebody else, it's all the same deal. You can't watch TV while you're driving. Are we allowed to come by and stop by the station? I may or may not be free to say hello when you come by, but the police stations are open. So, Will, if you were in the neighborhood, send me an email. Let's see here. Is an aftermarket blow-off valve illegal or legal in Canada? If it's a blow-off valve that's before the exhaust system, it's illegal. It's an Environmental Protection Act violation because you're blowing off stuff you shouldn't be blowing into the environment. Can I own a changing speed sign to put near the road? No, you can't. You mean changing speed like to notify people how fast they're going? That probably wouldn't be regulated. I don't know. But you could probably just save a whole lot of money and notify your local government or police to say, could we have something like that installed here because people are speeding in my neighborhood? Can I make a U-turn on a red if it's safe to do so? No, it's still a red light. You're still not able to cross it. You can still be charged for proceed before green and on, I'm sure, a number of other things. But definitely you cannot make a U-turn on a red, regardless of your interpretation of safety. Can I be a police officer without post-secondary? Yes, you can, assuming you are selected in a competitive process. So the requirements are grade 12, but it doesn't mean that if everyone else shows up to the party and has a doctorate and you have a grade 12, you're going to have a hard time competing with them. Doesn't mean you can't win out. It just means you've got to really be an exceptional candidate. Can you do a donut if you own the plaza? There is nothing that says you can do donuts if you own the plaza. The law is pretty wide open. It says you cannot do it on private property. There's no exception for you owning the private property. The only exception that I've seen thus far is if you build a track or have a permit. So you'd have to talk to your local government about that. Let's see here. If I get a new license plate, can I transfer the sticker? Yes, what they'll do is if you get a new license plate, they will give you credit for whatever is left over on the sticker and issue a new sticker, and you pay the difference for renewing it. But you get a credit for what you had. Apparently, I should have a drink of water. Can I run a red light if an ambulance is behind me? No, you cannot run a red light, and neither can an ambulance. An ambulance needs to come to a complete stop, as does a fire truck or a police vehicle prior to going through a red signal. They have to do it with 360-degree lights and their siren active, I should say. So if they're going to do it, they're not running it either. Now, can you proceed slowly through it if they're behind you and stuck and can't get out and they're hitting their horn? Could you? Yeah, stay to the right, move very slowly, and you move just as far as you need to get out of their way, but you cannot continue through that intersection. Does military background help in the hiring process? Yeah, absolutely. Military background is something that is excellent. I know a great many officers who have a military background who've made it through, and I work with on a regular basis. Will it beat out somebody with a doctorate? Maybe not, but it certainly is a benefit. Is it only e-bikes or e-scooters is legal too? So e-bikes are legal in the province and the city of Toronto if they meet and conform to the rules. E-scooters, while legal in some jurisdictions, are not currently legal in the city of Toronto. You can't use them on sidewalks, you can't use them on parks, paths, or roads. So they're totally not permitted here. Okay. That's what I was looking for, time check. Will you have to pay back on sticker? Yes, you'll have to pay back for all the time that has passed. There's no discounts that I'm aware of. Bravo says, thank you for answering. Keep up the hard work. My pleasure. We're having a great time here on TikTok, engaging and keeping everybody up to date and, spreading the knowledge. ATV road legal has signals and mirrors. ATVs are not permitted on the road. Now they are, I shouldn't say that. In some jurisdictions they're permitted, and I don't have the lowdown on that. I've spoken about it briefly when I had a sergeant who is familiar with that because he rides them, but that's outside of my thing. They're not allowed in Toronto at all. Some jurisdictions allow them from certain limitations. So you have to check out the Off-Road Act, Off-Road Vehicles Act. You have to check out the municipal the bylaws. But if you have a plated, licensed, insured vehicle, ATV, I should say, you're allowed to do certain things, and different speed limits apply, and I can't give you good advice on that because I just don't know the answer. If my name is spelled wrong on a ticket, is it void? No, it's not. It really depends. There's a number of things that identify you on a ticket, and spelling your name incorrectly, if it's an understandable boo-boo, can be corrected in court. We just amend it. How do I find out if there's a ticket on my name? You can, if you want to know your driving history, you can even order you can go to the ministry and ask. They can look it up. And hey, it's Sergeant Kraft saying hello on Facebook. Oh, someone's being paged. So if you want it, you can order a driving abstract. If you want a long or full history, I think you got to pay for those. I think they might be able to give you a short history, possibly without a fee, but they can look. Now, if you go to renew your license or your sticker, they're going to tell you if you have something outstanding that's unpaid. Okay. Do I have any connection with police in Newfoundland? No, I can't say that I do. Somebody who used to work in Newfoundland didn't like one of my answers, but beyond that, I don't know of anything else. I don't think I've met anybody else or spoken to anybody else from Newfoundland police from the constabulary, but that would be cool. I want to get out there one day, but I've never been out there. What's the law with drone flying? That's a long and involved thing that I can only tell you, not that I've studied it officially, but that I'm looking at. I'm just laughing because Sergeant Kraft is laughing. Drone business, the details are, if you're using it for commercial purposes, you need to have a flight plan. If you are using it for non-commercial, there's certain restrictions of where you can fly it. Basically, the biggest limitation is proximity to an airport. So that's one of the reasons I didn't buy one, is because everywhere in Toronto where I want to fly it is basically a no-fly zone. And I've just never gone further. I really want one, and every time I think about buying one, I don't, because, it's a lot of rules. Now, mind you, there is one particular drone that is under the 250 gram minimum weight, and if it's for non-commercial purposes, you can fly one of those pretty much anywhere because it's not regulated at the under 250 grams. So I've thought about buying one, but I still haven't bought one. Anyway, moving on. Can I call police to find out if I have any ticket? You can call. I don't know if I don't think they'll disclose that to you over the phone. Could you call? You can always try. Are you allowed to own a retired police car? At the moment, I think I don't think there's any rule against it, as long as it doesn't say police or have any identification on it that would suggest. Hello, you almost look like me, Q. What's going on?
Hi, I
Hello there,
posted
long
it
time no
in
talk.
the chat for you.
There's Susie what? Oh, you posted in the chat the answer about drones? I feel like that was like a drop-in answer, and it was a questions and things. And what is this? I'm pressing a button. I'm clicking a link. No, that's not. I don't know what that is. Okay, the tickets. Oh, look at that. Apparently, Provincial Offences Act online services. What to know? So it looks like you can check the status of your traffic tickets. What you'll need: a location code, an offense number. So this is not going to probably work for you, for the person who was asking about, to find out what your ticket, if you have tickets. For this, you need to have a provincial offenses number or a ticket. So if you don't know you have a ticket, you can't look it up. You need to have a number for that one to work. But it's a good resource, Q. Thank you. So weird being here without you, Q. Let's see here. Do I need a temporary driver's license for G-test if mine expires? If your license is expired March 2020 or later, your current ticket or license that's in your hand, that is valid until the 31st of December 2022, so you're still good. Do they still make Crown Victoria police cars? They do not. Can I go to any station for a vulnerable sector check? Check on our website, www.torontopolice.on.ca. There is a section that explains it. You can pick up from anyone, but you have to, I think, go down to 40 College Street at our headquarters to file it. Now, certain types of vulnerable sector checks may be mailable. There's another one that's a deep dive. I don't recall what the name of that one is, but one of them has to be in person. But check it out on there. Just a reminder, although we're coming in close to the end of our show, please be kind. We have moderators, a magical band of moderators who are here to keep it classy and take care of the room and make sure that no one's being spammy or abusive. But it's easier if they don't have to work. If we're just being good to each other, that's good. Oh, my better half says nothing by mail. All must be done at headquarters. Is that correct? Okay, so apparently all vulnerable sector checks have to be dropped off at headquarters. There is no opportunity to respond or apply online or on mail or at stations. If I'm not, people are calling me. Why are they calling me? California. I think it's possibly somebody who isn't real calling me. An auto dialer maybe. Okay. Can a distracted driver be reported? If so, how? Absolutely. If you go to www.torontopolice.on.ca/core, CORE, that is where you can apply, or at least confusing two different answers at once. You can report either specific vehicles for driving infractions or neighborhood concerns. If people are speeding, blowing stop signs in your neighborhood, you can report the location, or you can report a specific driver. Okay. And yeah, confirmation. My better half says vulnerable sector needs to be given by the employer. So you need to have a specific form in advance, and you cannot go to the stations. You have to go downtown. Are police radio scanner illegal? Well, we're encrypted, so there's no scanners for us. If you happen to have a scanner that gets our encrypted channel, yeah, you're probably doing something illegal to get that. But scanners in general, open, free, whatchamacallits, if you're just scanning the air, not an issue. Okay. Are all police cars and SUVs fast? All cars are pretty fast. Are ours souped up? Do they do anything special? No. Most of our equipment is simply there to be improved in terms of suspension and coolant because they run 24 hours. Is TPS hiring for auxiliary positions? We just got our auxiliaries back in our stations. They've just been approved to come back. Although I don't know if they've officially made it into the building, but they've been approved to come back after a very long hiatus due to the pandemic. And I don't know if they're hiring at the moment, but www.torontopolice.owen.ca/careers. If you go there, you'll be able to see, when there's a posting, there's an auxiliary specific band or a button there. Click on that and get some more information. I was in auxiliary for many years, 12 years, in fact. Best volunteer opportunity in the world. We'd love to have more volunteers that are eager to get out there and help the community. So if you're interested, by all means do it. If we're not hiring and you're really eager to do it, and if you don't live in Toronto, maybe check out your local police service. They might be taking auxiliaries if we're not, but if you can come to us, we're a great place to volunteer. Which degree is effective for the hiring process? Any degree. It doesn't have to be law enforcement specific. However, law enforcement diverse training. I always use the example of accounting. If you are an accountant and you come to us, we do investigations involving financial crime. That could be a perfect fit. So doing something that's unique is really good. It makes you unique. If everyone gets the same degree, then we're kind of boring, right? So that's a thing. There's the link for careers. Let's see here. Going to the next one. If you don't already follow us, please do. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with Traffic Services, and this is what we do for an hour a day while we're in the office. Now, I'm so used to saying Monday to Friday, but it's actually going to be Tuesday to Friday, then Monday to Thursday, then Tuesday to Friday, then Monday to Thursday. And because TikTok recycles my videos, I don't know which one to start with. I don't know how to forecast it. So we schedule, or I'm going to try and schedule all events in TikTok so that you know when we're going live. If you go into our Discord server, we'll also be keeping everyone up to date there. Yeah. Okay, how long have I been a police officer? I've been a police officer for 9 years. Before that, I was a special constable in our courts section. I was simultaneously also an auxiliary sergeant. So I did both stuff at the same time. Let's see here. A couple messages. Okay. Question is, I just came in, but in terms of scanners for TPS, the frequencies are now encrypted, so you can't listen to it. Yes. That's why I was saying that if someone was listening to it, they probably did something illegal to be able to get to it. But it used to be that we listened to everything. I had a scanner. It was great. I used to know what was going on before I got to work. Liz says, last year I could not complete my VSS in person. I had to mail it in. Couldn't even use the TPS HQ mailbox because of COVID. And yes, my vulnerable screening sector screening form was from my employer. Okay, cool. So you're all set. But now I understand that they are back open and taking people walk in for dropping off that stuff in that mailbox. But yeah, pandemic things. Always check the front or our website for the latest and greatest information for what's happening. Let's see here. Do you ever go out on patrol? Currently, I do not go on patrol. I am I'm an office guy. Okay, apparently we're having some weird problems with TikTok's chat. So if you're having problems with TikTok chat, I do apologize. Sometimes they go on the fritz. A lot of technical issues. But yeah, bear with us. I know that we saw a steep decline in our viewers. That might be related to the TikTok chat not working properly. But yeah, back to do I go on patrol? I was involved in a collision 3 years ago. I've been at a desk since. I'm not physically able right now or cleared for the road, but hope to one day go back on patrol. I miss meeting people in person. one ticket at a time. No, but I really do miss being able to go out and help people, but I really enjoy TikTok because I get to go out and help people virtually. This has been really good for me. I enjoy it. Again, our Discord, if you want to stay up to date and know when we go live, changes to our schedule and things like that, we post it right there. I also have we have a Twitter, but I have a personal Twitter. It's VoiceOver Cop, and I post things like going live today or not going live today. Okay. Which reminds me, I didn't do that today. See, I'm already breaking my own statement. Rules for driving with pets seat belts needed. Legally, no, other than the fact that they can't crowd the driver, because driving while crowded is a charge. They should never be on your lap. In terms of where should they should be in the back seat, and you should use a pet tether, like a pet seat belt, or possibly the same thing, but it's called a pet tether. And that's a thing. You want to make sure they don't become projectiles or even harm you in the event of a collision. By the way, already did I like your lightning bolt logo there for, I'm assuming, looks like an Apple Watch charging thing. Have I ever flown a plane or have a pilot license? I have flown a plane. I do not have a pilot license. My late uncle was friends with someone in Florida who had a school. I went up and I got a chance to fly, and that was really cool. And I thought for about 10 seconds I should get my pilot's license, and I never did. Okay. Just scrolling through, we got some duplicates here. Can police turn on lights just to get through a red? Yes, they can. Lights and siren or air horn combination required in order to go through a red. Is it legal? Absolutely. Do they have to continuously drive with them on? No. Did a video about that way back. Upset a whole bunch of people. The reason being is we don't turn our lights on and just drive around with them. Even if we're heading to an emergency or a call, we turn them on sparingly because it really affects the way drivers react to us. And it may not be beneficial for us to have everybody in the planet pull over for us. We just need to get through as quickly as possible to get through. Do you have a police helicopter? In Toronto, we do not. If we have to, we use our surrounding area police partners, helicopters. We basically rent them. Hey, can you come fly over? We're looking for somebody here. And it's been found to be very beneficial when in use. This is a great question we get all the time. Is it legal to leave your hitch on your truck when not in use? I am not aware of any law that would prevent you from doing that. It is asked all the time. My shin has been there to remind me every time I bang into my truck when I've left a ball hitch in. It's the reason I don't leave it in because I keep smacking my leg. But is it illegal? Not that I'm aware of. Okay. Yes, they do. Does a baby count as a second person for carpool lane? Absolutely. They are human. And totally legitimate. Make sure that you let the kind officer who pulled you over know that the human in the back does count. Sometimes they're overlooked or not noticed. Can I use my AirPods while driving? In Ontario, it is not illegal to use headphones or not. Thanks for the hydrate, Angela. Need to be reminded to drink the water. But can I use my AirPods? Absolutely. You can cover both ears in Ontario. Hearing is not a requirement under the law. Those that are hearing impaired can drive. So is it the same? No, because the distraction of having tunes in your ears could be less safe than having nothing, but it's not illegal. Okay. Let's see here. If trucker go on no truck way by mistake, if a trucker goes on a road by mistake and where they're not permitted, will you get a ticket? You could get a ticket. Mistake isn't an excuse, but you never know. It's a situation of officer discretion. You could be ticketed, you may not, but it is a problem if you're on a road that you shouldn't be on. But we covered this. I think we've got a whole bunch of stuff that is, how do my shifts look like? My shifts recently changed. I was a Monday to Friday guy, 8-hour shifts, and we're on a pilot project where we're talking about 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, 2 off. So 4-day, 10-hour shifts, 40 hours and 40-hour work week in 4 days. Would I ever do a police ride along? I'm in traffic services. Normally, it's a sergeant who takes people around. I'm not currently on the road. I used to take ride-alongs with auxiliary officers. I used to take all sorts of people with us, but it's not something I can do now. Okay, but I think it would be cool.
Kids.
Who's he? What's what?
Seat.
Kids in the front seat. We covered that earlier, but we can talk about that. Kids in the front seat. So if you have a child restraint system or a car seat, a kid's car seat, those need to be in positions without airbags. We suggest back seat always because especially in new cars, you can't disable the airbags. So that's a problem. Back seat always. There are situations where you have two seats only. There are modification systems where you could potentially be able to disable that airbag. But it is a complicated process and probably not worth the endeavor. Now, when you get into front seat, back seat, when a child is old enough to be in a seatbelt, but, should they be in the front? That's probably what you're really getting at. And we suggest 14. Now, is it legally required? No, it's not. If you are 8 years old, 80 pounds, or 4'9", you're legally allowed to sit in a seatbelt without a car seat. And technically, you could be in the front seat because there's no charge for it. But you have to understand that a airbag could be incredibly dangerous for someone who is smaller, as they are not designed to be used with tiny people. And I mean that with no disrespect to people who are tiny, but it's not designed for you, and it is unsafe. So you want to make sure you're in the back. It's the safest place for you to be if you are smaller, and Q feels attacked as a tiny person. But it's the back seat's going to be safer for you, and children are still developing and not in a good position to be smacked in the face by an airbag. Those things deploy at like 200 kilometers an hour or greater. And it's a thing. Okay. Our time has come. It is time to sign off and say goodbye until tomorrow. We'll be back at 9 o'clock to go live once again. Of course, we're going to try and create some content. We've been slow. I was away in London for a week, and I didn't put a lot of stuff up. So today will change, and I will be filming a whole bunch of content for you. So stay tuned. Come back and say hello soon. What else? You can check us out live tomorrow at 9. You can make sure you follow us so you can stay up to date when we do go live and drop new content. Otherwise, join us on other platforms. I can be found on VoiceOver Cop, on Instagram, Twitter, and you can even find me on Sean Shapiro on Facebook if you want to find me there. Hey, we're all over the place. Main channels for traffic services are, guess what? Traffic services on Twitter, where we announce every day where our Vision Zero enforcement team are going to be. So that's it. That's all. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will see you really soon, like tomorrow. Did I say that? I think we said that. Hey, I'll leave this on screen in case you want to screen grab it. That's our Discord. Talk to y'all soon.
Bye, TikTok. There you go.
Okay. And to everybody on our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and everything else, it's been a slice. Thanks for dropping in. And even my wife and kids who are watching. Hi, guys. So that's it. We're out. We'll see you tomorrow. It's been a blast.
Bye.
Ciao for now.